Welcome to the Badger Beer Report, or Badger Beer's Reports Brew Report for April 7th, 2026. In this episode, we will talk about Duran Brewing, a big anticipated announcement about Lost Apostle. We have updates on builds at Ope and Treeline and Nosy Neighbor. And with all that, we will bring on my colleague, friend, and director of brewery and relations and director of brewery relations and research for Badger Beer Report, Joel Geyer.
How's it going, Greg? We got a lot to cover tonight.
Let's go. You got it?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's pull it up here. So we're going to get the bad news kind of out of the way here first. We actually touched on this last time that we talked to you guys, that Duran Brewing Company was going to be closing down after their owner and brewer had passed away. And then they had kind of said it was up in the air in terms of timeline. At the end of March, they actually sent out a post saying that their final live music event was going to be April 18th. And then only a few days later, on April 2nd, they then came and announced that Saturday, April 4th would be their last day. It did say that in the post, it said that it was very unexpected. So really all there is speculation in terms of what exactly went on behind the scenes. But I think the only thing, the one thing we can agree on is that we wish them all the best in the ventures moving forward. And, you know, obviously the condolences still to the family there at Duran Brewing Company. But yeah, Greg, do you have any other things that you'd like to touch on with Duran before we move on?
No, I would like to correct the record though. Today is April 6th, not the 7th. And that being said, Duran, it's sad that Duran is going because they're the only brewery in that community. After nearly 90 years of dormancy that Roger brought them back in December of 2019, months before the global pandemic hit. Of course, it was a rocky start, but they ended up circling the wagons there, making it a dog-friendly, family-oriented place. We're going to miss Duran again. The community is going to miss Duran. And, we just wish the community well. Hopefully there could be a third resurgence of Duran Brewing. But at this point, there's nothing of that in the future. And the community is going to miss the Courthouse Kolsch and the Maple Ridge Porter. This wasn't a place that I don't think you or I made, right, Joel?
Nope, we did not.
Yeah, unfortunately. But, that being said, just well wishes to the family. And hopefully Duran, Wisconsin can get some kind of brewery type thing going on there in the future. But until then, Joel, we will be waiting, and we have some good news from the North.
Yes, now we can move forward into the good news category. And I don't know what it is about the Northwoods and making us wait a really long time. But after Boulder Junction's long build, I think Lost Apostle might have even been longer if you go back to those first initial articles about the build. Like, we're talking 22, 23, like we're talking several years that this build has taken. Badger has been, which is his real name, the owner and brewer up there. He had this old building in downtown that he had wanted to renovate. It ended up needing to be raised and teared completely out, leaving a big, hole that took forever to get filled in, and had to start fresh with a new build. That finally was taking place. You were able to go up there in November, I believe it was, and got to meet with Badger and kind of seeing how things were coming along. And yeah, if you cannot read that flyer for the grand opening, tomorrow is the grand opening for Lost Apostle. I know I've seen some posts. It looks like they may have had a soft opening over the weekend for some local folks. But yeah, so this is going to be on Bayfield Street, right in downtown Washburn. It's a really beautiful looking building, a nice space. It's 5,700 square feet. The brewery actually has a rooftop patio, so you're going to be able to see Lake Superior from up there, because they're only a few blocks from the bay there. I forget what the name of the bay is. I have it written in my article, but the name of the bay of Lake Superior, Chequamegon. Yeah.
There we go.
So, yeah, I mean, we are excited to hear more about the beer. I know it's going to be pretty diverse. They're also going to have a nice food menu with, different sandwiches and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I know that you're hoping to get up there as soon as you can, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
hoping at the end of
yeah,
April, but we'll see.
yeah. Either way, this is one that, like I said, that we've had our eyes on. I remember when we first found it, we didn't really think that it was still even a thing happening. And here we are, grand opening tomorrow. So congratulations to Badger. We hope nothing but the best for him up there. And there's going to be another little fun fact to tease here about this brewery and what it means for the county at the end of the show.
Oh, great.
Moving
Now,
on,
I,
we
well,
oh yeah, here, do you have something else you want to add?
yeah, I want to do a little cleanup here if you don't mind.
Yeah, 100%.
So we're looking here, y'all. It looks like Los Apostles is going to be open from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, and 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. on the weekend. I think that I'm pretty sure that the food goes to like 8 or something like that. So you might want to check that. But Badger's really trying to curate a place where you can come down, have some beer. They're going to have an 18 vessel system, and the food's going to be small bites and sandwiches, as Joel noted. So it's really going to be, he's really working on it to be kind of a social hub where you can grab some food. I believe there's music in the coming here, so it's just really going to be a nice place. I was not able to get in. It wasn't really that available. He was literally working on it when I walked up, working on it hard. So I'm really excited about this one because I was able to at least get on the ground there and meet him and just meet him. He has a warm personality. I believe that Los Apostles is going to be a warm place. I will hopefully get up there this summer sometime. Not, no guarantees, but that being said, this is a good one. If all the closings that we've had, Joel, this is our second opening, North Woods, and a remote place where it didn't have well, it does have another. It's not alone up there, unlike Boulder Junction, which is kind of alone right in that area, and a new place. So, either way, it's just a new one to add, and we are happy for Badger and the Washburn community.
I mean, it is kind of crazy that our first two openings of the year are both in extremely remote Northwoods communities. At least remote for us. There are people up there that it's not remote for, of course, but for a majority of the state, it is very remote. Speaking of kind of an opening announcement that's a little bit less remote, Nosy Neighbor Brewing. So this is one that we have been covering for a little while now, since it was announced that they would be the first brewery essentially to kind of become part of this program at New Barons, where they were changing kind of into a brewery incubator to give these people the opportunity to experience brewing on kind of more of a professional level. Nosy Neighbor is probably a brewery that, several folks are familiar with. They've been around since 2018. They actually started going into contests and also different events in 2021. They've actually been at Milwaukee Brew Fest every year since 2021. So you can expect that will continue to grow. And now that their beer is able to be out in a more public fashion, essentially, is going to give them a new opportunity to really kind of branch out and reach more people, hopefully. I'm really excited about this one. Tyler and Charlize, I'm hopefully going to be interviewing them soon. We will be checking in with them periodically leading up to their beer release on April 18th. I do know that it's going to be a pale ale for their first beer. I have the name of it here. It is going to be Welcome to the Neighborhood, a very fitting name. Brewed with Azacca, El Dorado, and Amarillo hops. And I know that they're going to also be a little more on the adventurous side with some of their stuff too. They're going to really kind of run the gauntlet, it sounds, but getting a nice pale ale in there for their first beer. And I'm hoping to stop down there after Joint Fest and be able to check them all out. And we're just excited. Like we were excited about this when the New Barons first announced it. And then Nosy Neighbor came in shortly after that, being the first one. And I'm just anxious to see how this looks and how this goes for both Nosy Neighbor and for New Barons.
Amen. And wrapping it all up, y'all. Next Saturday is the grand launch of this beer. There will be gift cards. There will be raffles where you can win gift cards private brewer tastings, and exclusive swag. And you'll be able to sign up as a new member on the event and enter to win a full month of free beer, I believe, of the whole New Barons. So New Barons beer, and I'm pretty sure Nosy Neighbor will be involved in this, obviously. They had some, some logistical troubles here, Joel, with permits, but they have worked through them. That is not exclusive to them as far as work permits. We've seen our friends at Mobcraft literally have 6 months worth of of paperwork. Our friends up at Dairy-Aire, he's been going through it too with his paperwork. So it's that's across the board, but it's good to see them clear those hurdles. And they're just excited because Nosy Neighbor's been going on for what now? 4 years as far as
in terms of competitions, he's been brewing since 2018.
Oh, yeah, right. So we're up to like 8 years that they've been in existence and running around
5 years
beer
and, doing stuff.
they may have not and they may have not had intention of doing this, but again, the new Barons switch gave them an opening here to really take their their craft to another level, pun intended. We're excited, and we love New Barons too here. So hopefully it's all going to be good. And yeah, Joel, hopefully you'll be able to give us if not get there that day, we're going to be on the scene really early to find out what this beer is all about and to keep it going, y'all. So.
Yeah, and if you're curious, they besides Instagram and Facebook, I'm talking with Tyler, they just released a new website, nosyneighborbrewing.com. So if you want to go, they've got FAQs, events, what's brewing, the about page, all that kind of information. So if you want to do a deeper dive there, that will be there as well. But yeah, go ahead.
One last point. They're an incubator, y'all, and they're the 1st one. So ultimately, we're going to follow this until they get incubated out of New Barons, and we're going to see where that goes, because that's what John told us, is that it's a one thing to have our incubators, but it's one thing to see them graduate and move on to somewhere. So that's where we hope to see where Nosy Neighbor goes, and we'll be here for that ride.
Well, and also another good reminder too, make sure to go out and support this, because we want to see more of these incubator opportunities for people. And so showing that support for Nosy Neighbor and New Barons is going to be really, really important. So make sure to get out there and support them. And speaking of supporting, I'm looking forward to supporting this brewery, Treeline Brewing Company. So this is one that we were able to get some more information on from Nick. He sent me a press release shortly after the announcement. And Greg, Nick is already jumping in there. He has already been in the building. He's been ripping stuff out. He invited me down. I haven't been able to work it out with our conflicting schedules yet to get into the building, because I wanted to get in there before too much of the renovation has begun. But I may have to hustle, because he sure seems to just have a fire lit under him. They're already doing stuff with the flooring and some of the walls, I know, and the ceiling. He's all over the place. In there, Nick has worked at numerous different Wisconsin breweries. He started out at Carbon 4. He also worked at Third Space and Lakefront before he is currently the head brewer at Broken Bat Brewing Company. He actually grew up in the neighborhood adjacent to this one. And he talked about in his press release how important it was for him that he always wanted to come back and open a brewery in that community, because he always saw businesses coming and going in that part of the city. And he wanted to be part of the positive changes there and really kind of put his own, fingerprints on that neighborhood. So I know he's excited to have this opportunity with this building. I'm excited to go check it out. Sustainability is going to be a big thing too. I know we've talked about with Giant Jones, the reusable bottles. That is going to be in play here. I know he's got some other like drainage things. He's got some other stuff in there too that we can probably talk about later on. And then the last thing I would say that I took away from the press release is the name, because I know that was one thing that you and I kind of chatted about when it came out, was this name and logo. It's an interesting name for a Milwaukee brewery. That's something that you would expect to see maybe in a Colorado, I believe I said. Well, there is a reason for that. Nick grew up going to national parks. He loved national parks. And Rocky Mountain National Park in particular was his favorite. And then he ended up getting engaged there in 2017 when he proposed to his now wife. So that park has always held a very special place in his heart, and that has become the inspiration for the name here. And yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about this one. Like I said, I'm going to be talking more with Nick here in the very near future. I know he's got a lot going on right now. Broken Bat is celebrating their anniversary this weekend. He's got 3 new beer releases. So on top of doing all this, he's still juggling his head brewer duties over there. So I think as we move through spring here, we'll start to be able to get more content with him and hopefully be able to really track this build out more thoroughly than we've ever been able to track one prior, because of the access that we apparently are going to be able to have and my adjacency to this as well. So really excited about showcasing this one here down the road. And yeah, like I said, that's about it.
And if you would like to read more of our thoughts on what happens next for Broken Bat, I wrote a little piece for Patreon for our Patreon members, and maybe it's a reason for y'all to jump in and give us a little try on the Patreon.
Yeah.
And then on that note, Joel, we have an update on it's our biggest build right now, right?
In terms of, yeah, I would think so, in terms of like square footage and everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
this one's wild.
Yeah.
Hope Appleton is.
There we go. I was trying to make it big, and we both had the same idea.
You're still taking it away.
Oh my goodness. Hold on. Presentation. There we go. I was trying to hit the maximize button. Here we are. Oat Brewing in Appleton. This is the monstrosity of a build that we have been discussing and haven't really had any concrete updates or signs of life up until today when we got this image. And obviously there's signs of life. You see the building there that they are starting out on. The statement that we got from them is that on the main tap room, the rough end for the utilities is just about wrapped up. Spray foam on the exterior walls is complete. New roll-up doors and entrance doors were installed about a week ago. The drywall installation actually starts tomorrow, and that they're first on the schedule with their paving contractor after March 1st or May 1st, excuse me. So, that's one of those things that I'm sure with paving that they have to maybe May 1st, they have to wait for that day before they can start. Volleyball courts, bath bobber, patio are all scheduled to start in May as well. Job openings are actually going to start popping up here in a couple of weeks. So keep your eyes out if you are local and are looking to possibly get a job at Ope. And they're even talking soft opening in June. I mean, well, that's I think this is one of those things that they're going to kind of open parts of it while they're still working on others, because they said the other tasting room, the event space, and second tap room is going to be open a little bit later, more like August, that late summertime, it sounds like. So yeah, I mean, this is going to be, we've been talking about Appleton so much, I feel like, in terms of the growth that we've seen there and the quality of the breweries that we've been seeing come in there. And I mean, Ope is this is going to be quite the facility. I know we get up there often enough that we probably will be able to visit, I would assume, at some point. But yeah, it's going to be not too far down the road from all of our friends at, McFleshman's and Appleton Beer Factory and Vault, just down the road there. So yeah, I mean, it's like I said, volleyball courts, the big patio. It's going to have the big event space and 2 different tap rooms. Yeah. I mean, if you've been to their main location, they already do it pretty big there. And this just seems like they're doing it big again up in Appleton.
It's going to be bigger is what John, and that note, we read a piece that John, the owner, gave us. John, co-owner of Ope, gave us, and and Joel and I will be on, or one or both of us will be on the ground late this month for our Vault collab release, and we will be. I will be trying to get on the ground to give y'all pictures and kind of give y'all, because that picture does not do the justice of what this is going to look like at the end. And I also suspect too that this is going to be a big work in progress, Joel, meaning it's going to debut right in June, but we're talking about having some things just open up in August. So this is not going to be some kind of like finished product, y'all, when they open. And I suspect that this is going to be a build that continues to grow. Indoor, outdoor concert spaces, just grand in every way. And it's going to be interesting because, Appleton is a very, very crowded beer thing, I would suspect, but it's sustaining them all at this point, Joel. So I don't, it's continued to defy the odds. So It's going to continue, I would suspect. So, on that note, Joel, it is time for our sponsor.
It is time for our sponsor.
And this is a delicious sponsor. And we're
Yes.
happy to get to this spot. Usually it's just a plug, y'all. But this time yeah, so Joel, you want to set us up a little bit? Tell everybody what we're doing here with this one.
So
what it's about.
Our friend Rob at Supermoon is sponsoring the show here, and he has provided us with the beer from their membership. Barrel is it the Cellar Society, and we got the beautiful glassware. I'm holding mine right now, but there's a picture of it on the screen, which is probably a better quality than me trying to do this. But a beautiful gold rim
glasses.
Yes, beautiful glasses with the Simple Moon on one side and the Cellar Society logo on the other. And we have with us the first of the beers. Oaxen, I believe is how you pronounce it. And let me pour here for people. I'm pouring over my wife's computer, so I better be careful. Oh, there we go. And you know, anything Rob does is going to be the age in the French. I mean, the French oak is just right, and the Brett is right there from the beginning. So I guess I need to lead here and go back to this so that way people can see it for themselves.
Oh yeah.
But this is a Trappist Abbey-inspired pale ale brewed with aged hops, fermented and aged in French oak with Brett. So it's coming in at a kind of middle of the road, 6%. And I know that Rob, that Belgian beers is something that he holds dear. He really enjoys doing them. He just released a Belgian single at the tap room that I was able to go and try it. And then in the description, I know he said that this beer is supposed to be his like love letter to Orval. But this is a much different. It's obviously a different take because you're getting a much more funky, fruity, kind of like a little bit of like the barnyard funkiness, but still getting a little bit of fruit, like almost like a cherries. Oh, here I've got it pulled up here because I believe I've talked about it on the show. If I have not, Rob has the best descriptions in the state when it comes to describing the aromas and the flavors of his beer. He is really creative, but he actually found him here from the here. So he said, aroma,
let's go.
Dried fruit leather, grass, and basement. Yeah, I don't know about basement so much because basement to me would not be a pleasant smell. The dried, I'm thinking of like those dried fruit strips that I'm getting. And then he said flavor, apricot, galette, leather bag, dried cherry. Oh, there's the dried cherry that I was thinking a little bit of the cherry, and then funky earth. So I was saying funky and cherry. So I got those two. I didn't get apricot though. Sorry, Rob. That's why you're the pro.
I got apricot.
Doing it. Oh, so between us,
I'll vouch for the apricot, and you can see
the two of us. Well, I'm getting it now that we talked about it because again, once it's in your head, then you're searching for it. But
yeah, I got it before you though. I did.
Yeah,
I was when you said it, I was like apricot, and also this is such an easy drinker. Like it has a pucker that you want out of the Brett, but not too much. It ends so sweet and so nice, and it doesn't drink at no 6%. Even 6% is the middle of the road. It feels like a 4%er. It's full body. I mean,
that's the thing that I love about a lot of Rob's beers that I've talked about with his triple and with most of his different, whenever he uses Brett or any of his age, because he obviously uses a lot of different, French oak and different barrels and stuff with some of his fun saisons and whatnot. But even his big beers have a lighter body, and his light beers have the complexity. And that's one reason that I love Supermoon. We're, supposed to remain unbiased, obviously, but Supermoon has always been one of my favorites. I love Supermoon. And that's one of the reasons is because this is a lighter beer that you can drink this bottle without worrying about it, being too much. And yet you're not going to sit there and have to drink it. You don't have to drink this fast though. This is
No.
a beer that the complexity of it and the flavor profiles that you can get as it, sits and you kind of work your way through it is complex enough that it really can also be a sipping beer as well. So
Right.
kudos. I mean, listen, Rob, I knew I was going to like this beer. I don't have to pretend to be surprised, but it is just really fun. And I guess I have in my background, I'm sitting in the
You're sitting at Supermoon drinking a Supermoon. Yeah, we want to thank Rob for giving us this opportunity to try these beers. I was a member last year, but not this year. But now I'm a member, and Joel and I will be every release this year.
Yep.
We're covering it, so come back. I don't know if you can enter. I think the time is closed where you can get them, right?
Yeah.
But we're going to be ready. We're ramping up for next year, and we'll let you know when that happens, when it opens at the end of this year.
Yep.
Because we want everybody to not know. The reason we approach Rob is because we want to. Well, of course, we want to drink Supermoon beer, right? Of course, right? But really,
guilty as charged.
Yeah, and we want to open it up to make sure that y'all are in. Listen, I live in Madison. I was a member. And Astro, I went there last week and I grabbed all of my beers from last year. So he'll keep them for you in a good place. And so you don't have to be in Milwaukee proper to enjoy these beers. The glass, again, beautiful glass, beautiful beers, great place to support. I got nothing but love for Supermoon, one of my favorite breweries, and I was just there once last week. So
I'm there, yeah.
It doesn't necessarily, like Joel says, it could be a sipper, but for me, I couldn't have enough. This is going to be great.
Yeah, you can still work your way through it pretty easily if you're not paying attention. Because again, as you said, that it's not like a heavy beer or anything like a high bake. It drinks like a lighter beer. So yeah. And as you said, if you do sign up for this is not like a beer release where you're having to be there day of. Like as you said, we will make sure that during hopefully during the final one of these that we do, we're able to kind of give more information on the signing up for the following year to promote that, so that way we can get people on the right track for that.
We're going to let you know. And the only downfall is that I have to share my membership beer with this guy.
Oh no!
Right.
You better hope that I'm closer. You're gonna have to hope that I don't beat you there.
Yeah, I'll say. But really though, that was excellent, and that was a good intro to these.
Yes,
and yeah, so again, Supermoon membership, the member club there. What's it called again?
The Cellar Society, I believe.
Thank you. Yes. Cellar Society. And you can sign up at the end of the year for Supermoon. Y'all missed your opportunity for this year, but luckily, y'all watch the brewery report, so you'll be able to get info on all of them this year. They come out quarterly, and there's 4 of them. You get two bottles, and you get 1 glass. We were lucky enough to get 2 glasses, so we could show y'all. But so that is the deal. And again, that's Supermoon's Cellar Society.
And again, even if you're not part of this, go to Supermoon still. I'm still going to plug them because they've got so much fun stuff. Today, I know he actually just tapped a small batch collab he did with a bar, I believe over in the Madison area, and it's a bourbon barrel-aged sour red called Steve's Reserve that he just tapped today. It was posted 2 hours ago. It's a small batch, so if you want to try that, make sure you go there. He does have quite a few, like the Bayview Saison, that are flagships. They're going to be there regularly, but a lot of the other stuff is rotating in and out. So make sure that you're checking it out because it's all great stuff.
Yes, sir. And also what's great stuff, and I'll lead on to this one. Badger Beer Report is in the homebrew competition business now, y'all. We have so hello, Caleb. Nice to see you here.
Thank you for your support, Caleb.
Absolutely. Right back at you. But so we're doing a summer mashup, y'all. We're doing a summer homebrew competition. You can get all the info there from the QR code for those homebrewers, or just y'all wanting to be nosy about what's going on. Hit that QR code right there. It'll take you to the website that'll tell you all the details. But we are collaborating with the Madison Homebrewers and Tasters Guild. I've been a member for over 10 years, near and dear to my heart. They are also, if y'all familiar, they are also the club that puts on the Great Taste of the Midwest, one of the best, if not the best, beer festival. It's definitely the best in the Midwest, y'all, respectfully. But it's one of the best beer festivals in America. If y'all are Badger beer people, y'all know that. Sunshine Brewing Company is in Lake Mills, Wisconsin. So what's going to happen here, y'all, is that June 6th at Delta Beer Co. That will be the judging. And Madison Homebrewers and Tasters Guild are taking care of all of those details. So it's going to be put on by a professional, organization that has put on numerous and many beer competition or homebrew competitions. Their biggest one is the Badger Brew Off, which is it's always in the fall, and it's a big regional one. This one here is the first annual one. I approached I got into a conversation with Caleb at Sunshine Brewing one day. I was there, and we talked about it, and the idea just flew. So what's going to happen here is there's going to be a competition. The top 3 brewers, it's going to be BJCP judges. So folks like hopefully Jessica Jones from Giant Jones will be one of the judges. And so the top 3 winners will go to the big table, as we call it, with Badger Beer folks like me and Joel and Caleb, the brewer for Sunshine Brewing, will be there, and we will pick a beer out of those 3 that will be brewed at Sunshine Brewing. The winner that we pick will be brewed at Sunshine Brewing tentatively the week after, and that beer will also be hopefully on tap at the Great Taste of the Midwest. So if you win this competition and your beer gets picked to be brewed by Caleb at Sunshine Brewing, you will also get 2 tickets to the Great Taste of the Midwest, where you can enjoy your beer on tap at one of the best beer festivals in America. So I am stupid excited about all this. I have a home brewing background, as y'all know or may not know. I won my first home brewing competition this year with my friend Dwayne, and at the Inventors Brew Pub inaugural last year, which was excellent because that was the first one, and this is our first one. So we are very, very, very excited. And before I'll let Joel jump in on his with his comments and what he's going to be doing for all this. I wanted to show our sponsors. Inventors Brew Pub is going to supply 50 pounds of malt to the first place, whoever finished first place. The Yeast Bay is going to supply a couple high-pitched quality yeast samples for our third place home brewer. Second place, we are working on a sponsor for a hop bounty for that winner. The Delta Beer Lab is sponsoring this event, the judging, and we are working on hopefully an event for that day, so we can have we can do a little bit of partying, and y'all can meet some of us. And the Wine and Hop Shop is our sponsor. They are taking submissions, so you'll be able to submit your beers there. If you go to the website, which is here, y'all, you'll be able to get the information on when everything opens and where you can drop off your samples. We are working on a place in Milwaukee for us to have people in Milwaukee to be able to drop off their entries. So yeah, you'll be hearing much more about this on our channels, of course. But the first annual Badger Beer Report, Sunshine Brewing, Madison's Homebrewer and Tasters Guild summer matchup is here, and it will be a doozy, and it will be a whole bunch of fun, and you will be able to taste that beer at the Great Taste of the Midwest. Joel, what are you thinking about all this?
Well, what I'm thinking is, first off, shout out to Sergio about being excited. I know you and I have both met him. He's one of our Patreon subscribers, so we appreciate Sergio. And if he's excited about this event, I'm taking that, Sergio, as hopefully you'll be there with an entry or
yes.
But yeah, I mean, this is really cool. I mean, listen, you are the one that has this much stronger homebrew background than I do, but I am still just over the moon about having our brand associated with this, with some, homebrew, with the Madison Home Brewers Guild, Sunshine, Delta. It's going to be so much fun. I plan to be there. I will be there, helping out. And I mean, I'm excited to see what the final 3 beers are. That's all I can think about, to be honest, right now, Greg. I know we want to push. I was talking because I actually went up and I did a speech at the Sheboygan Sudsters homebrew club here a week or 2 ago, I guess now. And I share with them too that I know that summer styles are going to be given slight preference, kind of. It's kind of my understanding. I know that that's kind of what we're leaning towards. You still can win with any style, but I know that Caleb, at least I believe, said that was kind of his preference, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it's gonna. Again, we all at the final table kind of want a summer beer, but if y'all the top 3 aren't summer beers, then y'all gonna make it really even fun. And also,
yeah,
at the end of the day, though, it's going to be about what beer we feel is brewed the best and all that. So if you brew some winter warmer and it is just a banger, it's gonna win. So don't make no worries there. But there will be an idea of shandies and wheat ales and lagers, y'all. Caleb loves the lagers. I'm telling you, my favorite. This guy loves the lagers. Yep. So I'm not telling you what to mashup. Do. I'm giving y'all some hints here of what people, again, if you all want to go against the grain, go ahead. But some of these lagers, I'm telling you, especially, and again, sunshine. Think sunshine in summer. Mm-hmm. Put yourself in that that wonderful face. Think great taste. You want your beer, you want your beer to be at the great taste, which to me, again, just having a collaboration, which is, we're not even brewing this beer. I guess, we're going to pick, you want to have a big say in picking it. So it's not going to be our beer, but it's going to be our beer. We're going to take ownership. Also, the top 3 winners will be invited on this podcast, on our podcast network, to talk about their beers and to see, and to get into their home brewing, the home brewing, area and all that. It's really, though, Joel, at the end of the day, you and I have talked about this. I have home brewing roots, and Badger Beer Report, in my opinion, should reflect, beer in general in Wisconsin, right? So we're really heavily, and and we love our brewery focus. I know without the brewery focus, I don't know if I would have Joel as a partner here, but at the same time, there's home brewing. There's I think you are going to see us get into the craft beer bars. We have we're really close with Garth here. Has one of the better beer bars in Madison, let alone the state. So yeah, this is just where we're at. So we're excited. You'll be hearing more and more about this. While we're on a homebrew tip here, I'm just going to say that our friends at Gathering Place, who we have a collaboration with for Lager and Friends, they're doing their own homebrew event. Their final event is May 2nd. Joel and I will not, unfortunately, be there. We'll be running around for our Volt collab and our Class of 25 collab. But y'all can. I just got a really quick tip on this one. Samples need to be in for this one specifically. The Gathering Place homebrew one is April 17th. So that's what we really want to highlight here. And while we're still at Gathering Place, we want to talk about Lager and Friends, which is at the end of May. I believe it's the 30th this year. It's always the last weekend in May. It's the week before our judging for our home brew competition. But we are scheduled to have Dachsbier 2.0 or maybe 1.0, because it should be the same recipe is what we're looking at. We are excited that Dachsbier is probably going to be on a bigger scale this year, meaning there'll be more of it around, meaning that y'all will have more of an opportunity to get it. But please, we would love to see you at Lager and Friends this year. We had the whole crew there last year, including Landon. We hope to have the whole crew there this year. So check that out on gatheringplace.com. And before we even get to that, Joel's going to an event that he is very excited about.
Yeah, so I am going to be going as media to Joint Beer Fest at Eagle Park Brewing Company. I know the logo says Milwaukee, and that's what we think of, but it is at their big facility down in Muskego. This is what number is this? What annual year is this? I can't remember. But they've been doing this now for several years. Where Joint Beer Fest is where Eagle Park does collaboration beers with a whole bunch of different breweries, and I know some distilleries, and I believe they are even doing one this year with a hemp beverage company. And they have unlimited tastings of all these beers. And then they also have beers in like 6-packs to go that you can get there. There's going to be live music. There's going to be a Munchies themed snack bar that's all included in your tickets. Again, this is April 18th. So a week from this Saturday. And it is from 1 to 6. Yes, 1 to 6. So I have not gotten to go to this event before. So this will be my first time not only covering it, but just going there in general. I am going to say, so there's a list on the website of the collabs. And besides the Oated Pale Lager collab with Amorphic, which is, of course, the one that lie detector test that I'm most excited about, they also have a alcoholic cereal milk, alcoholic milk that they did a collab with Dank House Brewing. It is an apple-jacked cereal milk. It is a hard seltzer infused with soft serve ice cream and Applejack cereal, and will be garnished with crushed Applejack cereal, all coming in at a nice 5% ABV. So I'll be giving that a try. I'm not sure I'm going to be doing more than that with it, but I will be giving it a try at least, Greg. They have like Young Blood has a concrete mixer stout that they're doing with them. They, like I said, they have a THC blue Hawaiian cocktail infused thing with some with Drinking Buds beverages. Phase 3, they have a quadruple IPA and a barrel-aged stout cuvee. J. Henry and Sons, they've got a barrel-aged beer with them. Like, so there's a lot of fun stuff here at this event. And like I said, there's also going to be food and music and all that business. So I will plan to be going there on the 18th before I go to Nosy Neighbor, hopefully. But yeah, I am really excited about this because this is an event that I have seen in the past and have not been able to go. So you can expect some posts from me leading up to and then during the event.
And a lot of these are one-offs, so you have to be there for that.
You have to be there for them.
Number 2, this is a sponsored part. Joel's getting free access to Joint for this, not only this plug.
I said, it's media.
Talk about it. Yep. So this is a sponsor event. We want to thank Jake at Eagle Park for giving us access to this event
100%.
to talk about it. And again, y'all have to go for all the, especially that milk, that goofy milk apple thing.
I don't know, man.
Only going to be there. They're literally saying you have to be here for this. So it's probably going to go
event
out.
Only.
So yeah. So you're going to have to not only get there, you're going to have to seek that one out early, because I think it's just going to be something that goes. But yeah, so one last time here, we got the Joint Beer Fest next week. That is April 18th, right? Saturday?
Correct. Yes, April 18th, 1 to 6 p.m. And yeah, you can go online to their, if you go to eagleparkbrewing.com, you'll be able to go there. They have an events page for it. You can get tickets that include, whether it's general admission or VIP. They do also have designated driver tickets if you do have someone interested in coming along. But you still could come for the entertainment and, importantly, the food. So the designated driver ticket does include the food, but you still have to be at least 21 to be the designated driver. I should clarify on that you don't want to be bringing your high schooler along.
Amen. And you will see more of that on our social media.
Yes.
Another thing you're about to see more of is the Class of 25 collaboration brew. This is the first event that has been scheduled. It is Saturday, April 25th, which is the week after Joel will be at the Joint Fest. I will be in attendance in Boulder Junction, y'all, for this event. I am excited for it. And you can get all these details on our Facebook page. As y'all know, as y'all Wisconsin folks know, that top dot up there is where we will be at Boulder Junction. Boulder Junction Brewing is is actually our second newest brewery now. Actually, they're the first newest brewery because Los Apostle has to yet come in tomorrow
Of
and a couple
technically
hours.
correct.
Right. So our newest brewery, still for a day. I will be there in 2 weeks. Looking forward to that. I will be there for probably most of the day, starting at 12, and I'll be there as long as I can sustain. They're going to have a food truck with smash burgers and fresh cut fries, which are the best fries. And yeah, it's Boulder Junction. We haven't had a brewery in Boulder Junction ever. We, Tracy is the third woman head brewer in Wisconsin. And it's just going to be a big celebration of this. This will be the first release. The next releases will be the following weekend. But since I will be up in the North Woods and I'm able to bring the beer up there, that's why it's going to be the first one, and it's going to be fun and great. And this will enable me to probably make all of these releases, but more in those releases coming up, because this is the only one that is scheduled for now. But we will be having events. Y'all check our social media for events on this one. And Joel, I'm going to tee you up for what Joel, we got a lot of keeping an eye on here, but what are your ones that we talked about Oak, but are there any ones here that we should be obviously Dairy-Aire is going to be coming in here soon.
Yeah, they've been
what else you got?
saying Dairy-Aire's been saying hopefully next month.
Brewing now.
Yes. So we've checked in with several of these other ones. I checked in with Solomoth. Still, they do not have anything official yet to release on that note.
And you drove by there, right?
Yes. And there's no signage up or anything yet. Acronym, I talked with John. He's, obviously still also working with the Nosy Neighbor stuff, but he said they're still working on some back-end paperwork stuff, but he's hoping to have some big updates here soon. So hopefully, and kind of similar from Adam with Clockwork. Radix, I'm just waiting. I'm going to send another email here soon. I'm hoping that they come soon. I have been in contact. We did get in touch with the folks at Nicolay. So hopefully we can start to get an in with them and get some more updates. But yeah, otherwise, pretty smooth sailing outside of what we've already talked about.
Yeah, I suspect we're gonna hear. I suspect we're gonna hear soon about Gravity Box too, because it felt like they were close at the end of last year, didn't make it in, but you would think that they want to be out in front here. For us too, Sergio, us too.
Yep, we've been in contact with him. We're hoping that he breaks ground soon. I think the weather may be playing a role in when he's able to get that build started.
And yeah, back to Gravity Box quick. And the Dells. We hope to see them come in here in the spring, so they're ready for the summer. So good on that. And here's our April anniversaries. Anybody jump off to you besides? I mean, they all bring their own little thing here for sure, right?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. This is one of the really few. I should go back and look at my spreadsheet, but this is one of the few months where we don't really have any truly kind of older OG breweries. The oldest one is Plymouth, which will be celebrating their 13th year anniversary, opening up in 2013. But we've seen Hop Garden expand here recently. Urban Harvest just had their anniversary party this past weekend. Obviously, Bavarian Beer House is, as of right now, the closest brewery to my house. So I obviously have a lot of love for them and their festival grounds, and especially the food. And then our friends, Inventors, Broken Bat. I'm going to be doing some more content coming up soon, hopefully with Wizard Works. We know the folks at District 1 because they are part of the Lombardi team. And then, you have, interestingly, back-to-back baseball field pilot breweries with Leinenkugel's Barrel Yard and Lake Louis Dock House. And then a pair of Class of 25 collab partners, St. Francis and Last Ditch, that will both be having events for the collab release as well. So, yeah, a lot of fun names here. And again, though, a lot of newer ones. There's only a handful that are more than a decade at this point in this month, which is kind of interesting for how many there are.
Yeah, so many fun ones. I was recently at St. Francis, so love my stop there. I mean, I always love stopping in Knuth Brewing. I think Dave's just doing a bang up job there. Main Street Brewery, you gotta love that. Broken Bad again. If y'all want to hear my thoughts on Broken Bad in the next kind of, what may, what's going on with them, transitioning from a brewer, a brewer leaving and all that. So yeah, man. Shout out to all y'all and happy birthday, y'all. Happy birthday. So not really a great segue to this, which is our closing map, which unfortunately we're actually at a rate of more than one per month. I
Yeah,
figured this is going to slow down,
1.5 a
but
month. Yeah,
but
we've been
yeah.
busy.
So
Although I will say, if you want to put, kind of an asterisk on some of this, TAC announced prior to, like, TAC essentially closed last year. They just waited until January 1st. Steel Tank has actually technically been closed since August. They just did not officially close and sell until February. And then Vintage just closed one location. They still have multiple locations in the Madison area. We obviously know the surroundings behind Duran Brewing closing. So it looks a lot more dire than I think it actually is with this map. It's still obviously nothing to sneeze at, and we obviously hope not to add anything else to this map. But as of now, with what we have lost, I do think it looks worse than what it actually has been so far in 26.
yeah, and keeping it clean, we have an in-house watch list, y'all, which we won't tell you who's on it, right? But actually, y'all can sniff around. One of the things that if you are looking to sell, you end up on one of our watch lists. But outside of that, we just make speculations on things from like production numbers and stuff like that, which are sometimes not even right. But my point is, our in-house watch list, we don't see anybody immediately thinking, so if anybody gets added anytime soon on this one, it may be a wild card, unfortunately. But I don't, Joel and I definitely don't see in our in-house watch list anything on the horizon. So hopefully that'll be tamped down, and then we're gonna get some openings here, especially we're gonna get one tomorrow, even though this map does not look, or actually it's there. So we got two. We're counting tomorrow in Los Apostle, and like Joel said, they did have their soft opening. So we do have two, and like Joel said, they are up in the Northwoods, which is great because, again, generally speaking, and especially if y'all remember the actually, let me put it up here real quick. You could see by the dots on this last year, obviously all of our openings were east and south for the most part, right? So the fact that we got we're counting Boulder Junction here, of course, for the classic collab, because they brewed their first beer in 25, but they actually opened in 26. So that's why they're on the map for 26, but they're in a collaboration for 25. But that being said, there's a definitely an east, south kind of bias from what happened in 25, right, y'all? So we're hoping that we're gonna get more openings here really soon, y'all.
Yes, we are.
As opposed to, so we're gonna make those numbers. Those numbers are gonna absolutely, kind of, even out at some point. They absolutely will.
Yeah, because I mean, besides, you've got going back, you've got Nosy that's going to be added here, and it's not a surprise that we've had more closings than openings during the winter months. If you've watched our anniversaries, a lot more breweries open up in the warmer months in Wisconsin than the cold months, believe it or not. Which is why it's funny that the two most northern breweries opened up in the winter. That's neither here nor there. But we should see a handful of these openings coming down here in the next couple of months, which will help kind of fill in that opening map. But yeah, as you said, this is the upcoming map. You can see we got a handful still down here in Milwaukee and the surrounding areas, but it's a pretty good scatter chart, I feel like, across the state.
We got, excuse my language, damn near 20 here, y'all. So we're good. And on that note, Joel, that leaves us here.
Well, we had a 1-for-1 swap out with Duran officially closing, and we're counting obviously Lost Apostle, And so the numbers remain the same as the last time we saw you. So yeah, no changes. 207 for overall, 268 for the total number of locations and breweries. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. And then I will move on to the fun fact. I hinted at this. This is going to be a new thing that we're going to kind of, as we wrap up the show, I'm going to try to find a little fun fact about the state's breweries. And because Los de Paso is opening up tomorrow, my fun fact is that they are the 5th brewery in Bayfield County. You have Adventure Club and Clipper up in Bayfield. You have South Shores Taproom and Los de Paso in Washburn. And you have Raven's Breath over in Iron River. They now have 5 breweries. So to put this in perspective, Bayfield County has a population of less than 17,000 people. That's combining all of the towns there. That puts them as the 61st most populous county out of 72 in the state of Wisconsin. 5 breweries. Technically, I guess 4 breweries and then the South Shore Brewery tap room. So 4 breweries in a location. So 5 locations, which puts them at tied for 12th in the entire state. They have more breweries than Kenosha County, Fond du Lac County, Eau Claire County, and Manitowoc counties. They have more than all 4 of those counties. It is pretty crazy that this is obviously, it's up there with the Apostle Islands National Seashore. There is a touristy element to it. I know Clipper, especially, and to a certain extent, Adventure Club, are on the more seasonal end of things. So outside, I think Los de Paso is going to end up being the biggest brewery up there. But even so, just having these options up there is pretty darn cool, in my opinion. Like seeing a rural county like this kind of out by itself, having more breweries in a lot of counties that you would anticipate having a lot of breweries. So shout out to Bayfield County and to all the breweries up there. And again, another opportunity to plug Los de Paso officially opening their doors tomorrow. Congrats again to Badger. And we'll wrap this up here. If you are enjoying Badger Beer Report, we would graciously ask you to check out our Patreon. We have some very affordable different levels of support that include Discord access, newsletters, exclusive video content, different types of articles that Greg and I are posting. I've been having now, I believe I'm on this is going to be my 6th week of doing the weekly newsletter. It is coming out every Thursday. So if you sign up now, you will get the newest newsletter in your email mailbox this Thursday with multiple news articles, Q&As with different people in the industry, information on larger events and taproom events, beer releases, fun facts about a random brewery, all that kind of good stuff. And we would just truly appreciate your support as we try to grow Badger Beer Report into something larger as we continue to grow this. So it's been a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to taking those next few steps. I don't know. Do you have anything else before we go to the last slide here?
Nope. You said it all, man.
Yeah. And then again, I guess we have this in here. We've already talked about it. But again, a reminder, we will be updating people on the class of 25 events, because we should be getting more of those here that'll be trickling out. So make sure that you're following us on social media. And I'm sure that the next time you see us for a brewery report, we should have more, if not most, of these events scheduled that we can provide you with information on. I know Greg is planning on being there to all of them. I should be able to be there for a good chunk of them, at least, hopefully. But yeah, we're just over the moon excited to release the new kids on the Maybach. I know it's been up there sitting at Vault 202 just waiting for us. And yeah, we're just excited about that.
Yup. And friendly reminder, I will be at Boulder Junction on April 25th, and that's going to be the start of it. And on that note, Joel, take us out.
As always, whether it's where you're visiting or where you're living, be sure to drink local everywhere. Cheers, everybody.